global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
Secretly plotting your demise. I want to devise a virus.
Hello everyone, Darko2012 here with Global Government News, and I am covering a bunch of articles, and I'm going to try to get it into one video. That is my goal. And what is the purpose of this video is to cover the Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton's push for further sanctions, more sanctions on Iran, economic sanctions. And if you look here from an older article that I posted from an older video, Civilized World Must Protect Iran and consequently itself, you see the map here of all the U.S. flags surrounding Iran. You got Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Saudi Arabia. They're over here in the country near Yemen. And then, of course, you have Iraq. And so they're just trying to basically tear Iran apart economically and politically by trying to divide it against itself. But Iran is not a third world country. It is not Iraq anymore. Iraq wasn't even a third world country. It actually had running power and water until we went there and basically occupied it and brought hell on earth to them. I'm not saying it was a great place before, but it's definitely a lot worse than what it was. And we got a puppet government set up in Pakistan, and somehow Pakistanis are pro-West. Go figure. Same with Afghanistan. They're all fighting right now, trying to keep the U.S. out of their country. But puppet governments, little United States flags, are posted and flying high in the New World Order in the Middle East. And the last stand is this area of a very nationalistic country, Iran, and they cannot go and bomb them because it will make martyrs out of them, and it will also unite the hell out of all these countries around here, except for Saudi Arabia, which is not really a Middle East country. It's just basically a pro-West, all pro-West, Western government, pro-New World Order country. And so you also have Muslims in Saudi Arabia who don't like the West, but it's just not going to happen. They're pro-West because the people that run that place just have too much interest to be cool with the West. So basically what I'm getting at here is, you have Clinton here saying Iran is becoming a military dictatorship. And it says U.S. Secretary of State Clinton said on Monday, Iran is sliding into a military dictatorship, a new assessment suggesting a rockier road ahead for U.S.-led efforts to stop Iran from attaining a nuclear weapon. And no, it's not really stopping them from, for U.S.-led efforts to stop Iran from attaining a nuclear weapon. They've already done that, right? They don't have the capabilities, no matter how much this man says that they have it right now. They're only at closest. They're working towards 20%. They need 100% capability to produce a nuclear weapon. So they're not even close, and they're doing a good job of these sanctions of not allowing them to really do it. But what they are trying to do is the U.S.-led efforts and pro-Western establishment are trying to bring Iran down because they are what binds the Middle East, whatever is left of their culture and their people. They are trying to destroy it and in place of fascist democracy like we have here in the New World Order. And they want to put that in place. It says, as the first high-level Obama administration official to make such an accusation, Clinton was reflecting an ever-dimming outlook for persuading Iran to negotiate limits on its nuclear program, which it has insisted is intended only for peaceful purposes. And of course, so what? So what if it isn't? Israel has more weapons, nuclear weapons, than all of the countries and nations on the planet combined, and yet they're not subject to any IAEA inspections, nor does the UN haggle them and threaten them as they do Iran, which is not a rogue nation, which is not an axis of evil. And if you don't like that, well, then that's just too bad. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, and I'm looking at countries like the Somali pirates. I'm looking at it from a different angle. I'm not looking at it through the filtered propaganda, or whatever you want to call it, the filtered lens of gatekeeping and agenda setting that goes on with these sick people trying to demonize a country for trying to keep occupiers out. And then they accuse them of doing things such as having their army be called, labeling them as a terrorist group, right? When our army itself is a terrorist group. We're occupying and blowing up and killing innocent people. And then we fund our enemy. We fund the terrorists that our men and women are over there fighting and getting shot at against. So it says Clinton was revealing the logic of the administration's plan to target the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps with a new round of international sanctions intended to compel Iran to curb its nuclear ambitions before it increases the likelihood of a military clash. So it says sanctions are a long-term solution, but we see the issues in the shorter term because we are closer to the threat, said U.S. officials. Said privately they were unsure of al-Faisal's meaning and that they were certain Saudi Arabia was not opposed to new sanctions. Of course they're not. They're talking about oil and trying to get China to not be on the Iranian side, because as of right now, China backs Iran. Russia used to back Iran, but now they don't. And so you got China and probably now dealing with Saudi Arabia. That's what they're trying to get. They get Saudi Arabia to impose sanctions. Of course they will. And so they're working around it. They're working around it. They're not going to bomb Iran yet. They're going to try to tear them apart. They're going to try to have more CIA backed backing the Sunnis and the Kurds in Iran, the very, very small minority in Iran. And they're going to just back that, and they're going to provocateur, and they're going to call them a dictatorship, right? Because what probably happened? What probably happened in the last election? They probably did keep Ahmadinejad on there. The Ayatollah probably did have the elections rigged. I don't know that, and I'm not accusing them of that. But what I am saying is if you're a country that's on that's right on the edge of just losing whatever culture and whatever unity and nationality you have, right, from being overtaken from the pro-West, fascist, globalist, scientific dictatorship, right, that does not respect anything, you're going to do whatever it takes. And people in those positions, they form dictatorships. So they probably did not want a pro-West individual who represents the young, easily influenced population in Iran. The older conservative Iranians know that if, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not always good, right? Maybe the Ayatollah knows what is best for that country. And if they allow a certain pro-West person to get elected, that's it. They're done. That country is getting divided up, and it'll look like Iran, and it will no longer be a first world nation. They will exploit their resources, and they will radicalize and even fund opposition groups in Iran to just tear that country apart, and it'll never be the same. So the Ayatollah probably did allow Ahmadinejad to be reelected again because he's anti-West. He's pro-sovereignty. He's pro-Iran sovereignty. And maybe the younger people in that country don't understand that. And that's why they have CIA and MI6 and Israeli intelligence going over the border and snatching Iranian Revolutionary Guard, their army. It's an army. Trust me, it's not a terrorist group. It's an army. They refer to it as a guard, as an army, and they're killing them and just So they're doing very snaky stuff as well. The U.S. is in that. So just wanted to cover that, and I'm going to have some other articles here posting about it. And it says the Revolutionary Guard has long been a pillar of Iran's regime as a force separate from the ordinary armed forces. The Guard has his hand in every critical area. So yeah, this unit is basically like the Navy SEALs. Okay, that's what it is. It's like the Navy SEALs. And it's like the Marine reconnaissance. So that's pretty much all I can say in this short amount of time. I wanted to get to more articles. But yeah, thank you for checking this out. Leave your comments.